Hey, it's Luke here from LT Gaming. Now you'll have to excuse my absence from the channel over the last week. Somehow I contracted the bubonic plague. Or at least it felt like that. But anyway, I'm on the mend and you're not here for a Luke sympathy trip. You're here to find out about the wonderful things that have been added to Space Engineers 2 recently. It's in that classic early access spot right now where the game is clearly getting better. The roadmap is actually moving, and yet Steam has it sitting on mixed in the recent reviews. And I'm not going to pretend that there aren't reasons for that, but I do think it's starting to paint an unfair picture of what the game is actually becoming. And I think as a gaming YouTuber, it's not always my position to just go with the crowd. We have to be brave, right, and give our own opinions. Because for me, if you've not checked back in since launch, Space Engineers 2 is not just that pretty tech demo anymore. The foundation's been laid, survival finally has teeth, and the dev diaries over the last few weeks have been quietly stacking up to some really big moments. Let's have a really quick reset in case you're new to the game. So Space Engineers 2 is basically Keen Software House going, right, we've learned 10 years of lessons from Space Engineers 1, now let's rebuild the whole thing on a new engine. It's the same core fantasy, build ships, stations and bases, crash them, fix them and crash them again. And honestly, I love space sims, so I can't get enough. I think I'm so into sandbox games and just messing around in them that perhaps I could be too forgiving here, but do let me know in the comments. See, now the game is built around these vertical slices that expand the game in chunky milestones, and I kind of enjoy that progress. It launched into early access on January 27th, 2025, and yes, early on it was very bare bones. I kind of fired it up and went, there's not much here really. But now I feel like big changes have been made since launch to make it feel like a real game. And that happened for me with Vertical Slice 2, Planets and Survival Foundations, which landed on December 1st, 2025, so it did take some time. For me, that was the update that changed the conversation, and even Tom was like, why are you playing Space Engineers 2 so much on Steam? He kept seeing me logged into it, so I really was enjoying it. It's got to the point where you're not just building in a sterile sandbox anymore. You're in the Algamass system, you've got actual planets to land on, and suddenly the game has context. Survival starts to become a thing you can actually do, not just something you've been waiting for. And yeah, I know early access is not perfect, but I do think it's a big deal they're adding these major updates, and they really do keep the community engaged with their devlogs, some of the best I've seen. It's moving towards what made Space Engineers the original so addictive in the first place. What's making me optimistic right now isn't just trust the roadmap, because you can say that about anything. It's that the dev diaries are showing the messy practical stuff getting solved, and you can actually see the shape of the next big leap. First off, the world is clearly expanding in a meaningful way. They've revealed a new moon called Palantine, and it has that deliberate, familiar but eerie vibe like it's echoing our own moon itself. It's not just pretty scenery either, it feels like it's been set up for exploration and contracts and future storytelling, which is exactly what you want if Keen are serious about Space Engineers 2 feeling like a universe, not just a construction yard. As a space simmer who enjoys X4 Foundations, Elite, No Man's Sky, all these games, that is very important. It's why I struggle with the original game, because I'm actually more of an explorer than I would be a builder. But I really want to learn in Space Engineers 2 and try and unleash that creative side. Apparently it's in there somewhere. Then again on January 22nd, another dev diary really caught my attention. They're already internally playtesting a planet called Byblos, and not in a one biome job kind of way. We're talking multiple biome types including volcanic regions, snow-covered volcanic terrain near the poles, and even mossy looking variants in temperate zones. And then on top of that, they've mentioned a drivable wheeled vehicle prototype, because we do need something to drive around on these planets, right? Now the other big thing is the survival toys are starting to return, the stuff that makes Space Engineers, well, Space Engineers. In the January 15th diary, they showed off the design process for a new fighter cockpit, which really caught my attention. Then they also revealed some really technical stuff around pistons, stackable wind turbines, all stuff that the creative players will probably love and I'll have to learn. But it's positive because it's all practical base building additions that makes planetary survival feel less awkward and more livable. And then finally the dev diary today that kind of sparked this video off on January 29th. They're talking about tightening weapon and tool animations so they feel responsive, adding proper custom keybind support, separating tool volumes so you can actually control the mix, and they even mention automated turrets. There's also progress on trading blocks, mission scripting to stop early progression from feeling janky, and a really noticeable push on GPS features like creating markers from your position, pasting coordinates from clipboard, and grouping markers, all very good for explorers like me. This is that game feel layer starting to build, and it matters, and I really enjoy reading their devlogs. Maybe I'm slightly unusual, but let me know in the comments below. Are you someone who enjoys following a game's progress, especially with big updates like this? Or are you one of those people who's more like, nah, there's not enough in this already, screw it, and just give it a mixed review? Do let me know and be honest about it. Just a quick interlude to say most of you who watch the channel are not subscribed. So make sure to go down below and hit that subscribe button because it helps smaller channels like us grow really quickly, and both me and Tom really appreciate it. So let's tackle those recent reviews and the mixed rating. Because I get why it's happening, but I also think it's slightly misleading. Right now, the reviews sit at mixed, around 62% positive in the last 30 days, while the overall rating is still mostly positive, around 75%. That tells me the full story. People who've been following development, who understand the pace and the slices, are generally seeing the progress, but newer buyers or people returning expecting a complete sequel are still bouncing off the rough edges. Because if you do buy Space Engineers 2 expecting Space Engineers 1 but prettier, you're probably going to be disappointed. Some systems are still rough, performance is still a talking point, and yeah, I mean honestly, performance sometimes is really a struggle here. And it doesn't yet have that full feature density of a 10-year-old game. But if you buy it as an early access project that's actively growing, you love development, where the devs are showing their work every week and major milestones like planets and survival foundations that are already in, it's getting harder to argue that this is going nowhere. The potential is not theoretical anymore, the foundation is already down. So here's how I'd frame it. If you love building and experimenting, even while systems are still evolving, there's already a lot here to enjoy. Especially with the new gen visuals, which are actually really awesome, and the way the V-Rage 3 engine changes the look and feel of the ships, bases, lighting and planetary atmospheres. And if you're excited by the fact you can already mess around with planets, early survival and the colonization groundwork, in my opinion this is absolutely worth revisiting right now. But if you're the type of Space Engineers player who only really enjoys it once it's feature dense, smooth and fully stocked with survival complexity, then honestly you might want to wait a little longer. The upcoming updates do look like they're going to add some of the engineering stuff into the game strongly. And look, if you're a space sandbox player like maybe an X4 Foundations person, you are going to enjoy what you see here. As a space gamer and strong space simmer, I just can never get enough of space games. I've never understood this attitude of, well, I'm just going to play No Man's Sky for the rest of my life. Give me other things to explore. And the only reason I say that is because people write that often in the comments. Oh, I'm just going to play No Man's Sky, why bother? And I'm like, oh, come on guys, that's so boring. Even though I openly admit No Man's Sky is a wonderful game that's come a long way. So to wrap up, I am very high on Space Engineers 2. I've enjoyed playing it. Tom's seen me in it many times and he's like, oh, that game's shaping up, is it? I'm like, yeah, it really is coming along. Perhaps it could be a good candidate for a live stream one night. We want to do a bit more of that on the channel. And yeah, it's not the be-all and end-all, but honestly, I think it's a really big potential space sim for 26, and these guys are just delivering amazing devlogs. I think that should be appreciated and not run down. And I've no affiliation with this studio either, they haven't reached out to me, I've just literally played the game and enjoyed it. If you've been playing, tell me this, what's been the biggest improvement for you since launch? And what feature are you looking forward to? And if you're just a general LT gamer that enjoys our content and haven't picked this one up yet, are you tempted? Right, thank you everyone for letting me get through this video. I appreciate all the lovely comments that were on the video when Tom mentioned I was sick, so I do appreciate that very much. This has been a fun one. I'm clearly passionate about what I've seen in this project, and I hope that's come across. Loads of exciting stuff coming up. Me and Tom find all the awesome games, so you have to follow LT Gaming to get it first. Alright, I've been Luke from LT Gaming, and I'll see you out there amongst the stars.